Okay, I'll take the double.
Double Trouble Thursday is back again here on Live 105. For those of you that are new to the show, welcome. You probably don't know what a Double Trouble Thursday is all about. And really
In which case, check out our website.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Although, to be completely honest, neither do we, really. We just like to say it once in a while. But yes, indeed, it is a Double Trouble Thursday, which means doubling things up all over the place today. Tickets to BFD and Fall Out Boy, AWOL Nation, International Beer Festival, and so much more. Double the laughs? Probably not.
No.
Half the laughs.
Yeah.
That's what we like to say. Let me ask you, before we talk about what we have in store for you today, and it's going to be a good one. I'm very excited for the woman that will be joining us in studio.
Me too.
Not only because she's been shot multiple times, and because she's a former drug dealer. That's just some of the reasons I'm excited to talk to her. There's other reasons as well.
No, I've actually seen her. She's hilarious.
We're pretty excited for in-studio guests today, as well as some of the stuff we have planned for you on the phones. Of course, you can join the show, 800-696-1053, or text us, 36105. But text carefully. I got this text last night, and this is one of the reasons why, if you're in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, etc., you never say to the person when you get a text or when you have an incoming call, hand me my phone. Because even though you think you know who's going to be calling you at any given time or who's going to be texting you, sometimes you have no idea. And usually it's the time when, the ex-girlfriend you haven't spoken to in 10 years decides to send you a text, or the random number that doesn't actually have a name in your phone but writes something that's quite cryptic, and then it can lead to a long discussion with your wife.
Did you get a text
your
from your
emotionally
ex-girlfriend?
Pregnant wife. No, it's worse than that. And I think it's... I'm pretty sure it's spam. I've told you, I've been getting a lot of junk lately through my cell phone, which has been really annoying. But I wasn't getting anything.
I've just been getting calls from airlines at 5 a.m. saying my flights are delayed.
That's expected. I mean, this, I'll read it to you.
What is it? I want to know.
My phone's going beep, 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 beep. I said to my wife, hey, while you're up, you mind grabbing that for me?
She was like, I'm pregnant. Don't you understand?
Get your own phone. It says, what's up? Feeling a little naughty right now.
Oh, I've gotten those texts too.
So she goes,
yep.
And of course it comes in as a number that I don't have in my phone. It's
right.
just a random string of numbers. So she's like, what the hell is this? And I was like, what is it? Because I got any of a number of my own friends that at any given moment could write something incredibly inappropriate, send an inappropriate picture, sure. There's a couple of bachelor parties being planned right now for different places. I'm getting a real...
Those are the kinds of friends you have.
Getting a barrage of things that I could see her not being happy about. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know what it was. And then she starts grilling me.
Yeah.
Who is 817-241? And I'm like,
I have no idea.
What the hell is that? What are we speaking in now? Is that a social security number? What kind of code is that? I don't know. She goes, who are they? Who are they? You see flames firing. And I'm like, well, sit down, baby. You're pregnant. Relax. Take a load off. I go, why? What does it say? You know what it says. And I go, how do I know what it says?
I don't know. No,
I don't even know.
Until you hand me the phone, I don't know.
I don't know what it says. I don't know who this person is. How long have you known them? And I go, I don't know what we're talking about here.
Did you try to explain that you're getting all kinds of spam calls and that now it's gone into your text messages?
See, that sounds like a lot. Even though that's true, that sounds like what I would say if I got... that's exactly what I would say if I was in some sort of a cheating text relationship. I would say, I don't know, it's the internet. Can't control it.
Oh, I should have put that in my hidden calculator.
Yeah, so... She shows it to me. But she won't give me the phone. She does the thing. She holds it and shows me, and I'm reading it. It goes, feeling a little naughty right now.
And does it say, is it just that text? Because sometimes I've gotten weird spam messages like that, but it's also followed by a bunch of gibberish.
No gibberish.
It's
this has the phone number.
Feeling naughty.
And it says, number, add me so we can chat, feeling a little naughty right now. And I was like... So my first...
It's for the show. You can blame the show.
That's Allie. I said, Allie gets very horned up at the nighttime. She's got to relax before the next show. I said, babe, I go, I don't know who this is, but I am feeling a little naughty, right? How did they know that? No, I said, I don't know who this is, but
add her. Add her onto the chat.
Yeah, but whatever you do not delete, all right? Because I have a feeling you're going to get really mad at me in a few moments, and I'm going to need this person to console me later. So I explain, and she says to me, and she makes a good point, she goes, I don't get these messages. And I go, yeah,
I know, but she doesn't surf for weird crap on the internet on a regular basis.
So I started to say that, and I caught myself. I started to say, of course you don't get weird people asking you if you're feeling naughty because you're not constantly looking at... and then she's like, constantly looking at what? I'm like, the pregnancy presents for you. Presents for you and the baby.
Amazon pregnant stuff.
So it's a different...
It's a girl. Yay, good night.
So then I kind of talk myself into that rabbit hole, which I don't recommend going down either, which is like, oh yeah, of course no one texts you, are you feeling naughty, because you're not busy looking at the deepest, darkest parts of the web like I am all the time. But then as I realize I'm saying that, I go, well, that's a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, you're right.
So I just go, well, I think it's the mailer demon. He's after me or something. And she's like, I said to her, but she starts, this is the thing that's amazing. And her first thought, and I think a lot of women's first thought would be, especially if they think they catch their man in a cheating scandal, or I don't know how it would be in a lesbian relationship, but probably something similar, right?
We just add them.
Well, I'll be calling you this weekend. She says, text her back. And I said, I'm not going to text her back. No, that's how they
get your information.
This is what I said. I go, I can't text her. If I text her back... And
you don't know if it's a girl.
Exactly. And I'm already referring to it as a her. and I'm like, I think this is probably a bot, to be completely honest.
This is Martin.
If I text her back, then it will be the Pandora's box that I will never be able to close.
Yes.
Because now they're going to go...
as soon as you respond, they're going to give your number to a bunch of other people.
Right. Now they go, we got a horny idiot on the hook. Let's take him for everything. And at that point, I think I'm convinced nothing is safe. They're going to get in there. They're going to go through. They're going to take whatever. They have full access to my life. And
you have enough problems as a horny idiot.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. So I said, I'm not texting her back. And then I'm like, I don't even think it's a her. It's a robot sort of thing. So then I'm trying to prove this to her that this sort of thing happens. So I get my computer and I say, Google, are you feeling naughty tonight?
Spam text message or
right.
whatever.
But the problem is, as soon as you write,
and it goes recent history, and you're like, damn it!
As soon as you type in, are you feeling naughty tonight? A lot of different options come up that are not anything that helps defend my case. This might be like a horrible lawyer. Like I'd be like the idiot at the OJ show that's like, yeah, go ahead, try on the glove, it'll be fine. It's not going to backfire on us. So as a result, I think I finally, after a good 45 minutes of trying to convince my wife, told her that. Let me explain a couple things about you, about me. One, even if I was really trying to have some sort of a sexting relationship with a lady, I would be smart enough to tell her not to text me at night when I'm with you.
Yes, exactly.
And then, which is also a stupid thing to say, because she goes, oh, so you've thought about how you would do this. And then I was like...
this is where the female manipulation is just
I know.
really at its
strong.
best.
It is strong.
We know how to turn anything into a negative thing.
It is a Yoda-like force.
And then somehow it ends up that you're calling her fat.
It was like, and I know, like, I'm walking around a very emotional minefield right now, because of the all the emotions and the pregnancy and this and that and everything I've read, all the little books I've read, little notes are always like, and whatever you do, don't say that, but also don't say that. In fact, don't say anything, and whatever you say could be, whatever you say can.
Just shut up and get her the chicken that she wants.
And that's really all I should be doing. So that's my fault. I should have just gotten up, got my own phone, and deleted that immediately.
See, laziness caused all of this.
But I do believe that this happens more and more now, and it's probably leading to a lot of relationships that are ending prematurely as a result of some bot that is just reaching out. And I wonder if, because Useless Weirdo is the guy that we always force to go on Tinder and Grindr and Bumble and everything else, and he claims the only people that hit on him through those apps are the bots.
Mm-hmm. Well, bot cheating is going to be a thing in the future, I'm sure. Robot cheating.
Bot cheating will be big, and because all of the robots are now being programmed to, sense real emotion, or at least calculate the way that emotions would be, they will also, I'm sure, be programmed to be jealous, to be vindictive, to be vengeful, spiteful, all of those horrible things. And you think, you think women don't forget things. Robots Robots are programmed.
They can save data, huh?
Forever. I mean, it never ends. It's like pi. It's like 3.1 bits repeating.
Yeah, so if you get in a fight with a robot, you're like, I never said that. And it's like, looking up 2010 at 4:59 p.m.
It'll regurgitate it exactly to you as you said it. So be careful. And bots and whoever was feeling naughty last night, thank you for you call the show. This is my safe space, okay? 800-696-1053.
She's still sleeping now.
Any bots that are feeling naughty, 36105 is a good way to get in touch with the show.
But didn't you
today.
feel a little honored that she was so upset?
No, not at all, because...
Wouldn't it be worse if she picked up the phone and was like, oh, some chick is texting you here?
Well, the other thought I had, and I didn't get into this last night because I didn't think she was in the mood to hear it, but I go, how do you know this isn't someone who wants to do something naughty like rob a bank? Like, how do you know?
Okay,
like all of a sudden,
you're grasping at straws there.
But it's just interesting. She assumes feeling naughty means I want to have sex or something. Like,
no,
what
they
if,
just want to break the law.
Yeah, what if someone's
they
like,
just want to go steal some chips from a liquor store?
Yeah, what if I want to just go pull someone's hair and run away? All right, it's naughty. No?
In that case, respond immediately.
So that's an interesting night. We'll come back.
Man.
We'll find out what's trending. We will give you stuff. That's right. Useless Beardo returns today. The big effing bribe. Rideshare drivers have the show on, even if it costs you your rating. Trendosaurus gets real ornery around Coldplay. I don't know what that is. But anyway, 800-696-1053 to join the show, 36105 to send your text to us. And especially today, of course, we like anyone who listens to us in the car. But if you're driving rideshare, have the radio on. You know how it works. We send some people around the Bay Area envelopes of tickets to BFD in their hands. If they get into your rideshare and you have our show on, you are handed an envelope with a big effing bribe to the tune of BFD tickets.
510 had some advice, or just wanted to let you know that from now on you can expect regular phone investigations.
Oh, I'm sure. No,
And-
I know it'll happen because this sort of thing has happened in the past. I mean, sometimes it's just the wrong text altogether. Like, it's not a spam thing. This one I'm pretty sure was some sort of a spam thing, probably because of a dirty website I went to. But I would imagine normally, something as crazy as just a wrong number that ends up being like, hey, feeling naughty tonight or feeling frisky tonight, that could lead into a ripple effect that could change the future for that couple and potentially...
Of you and your unborn child.
I mean, you think about that. I have an unborn child, but it's inside of my... I mean, assuming all goes well, this beautiful little girl, excuse me, I guess I'm calling it a thing. She doesn't like that. This beautiful little girl will also be here as well. But imagine a couple, things are going well. Wrong number, one text sets the relationship into a downward spiral effect that can never recover from. As a result, a person that would have been made and brought into this world is no longer here. It's shocking,
I know.
really. You think about that.
925 said you should have given the excuse that it's just useless weirdo mixing up your phone number with the elusive bearded hipster wielding cane.
Oh, yeah. He loved that man.
Yeah.
The weird caned man. The mysterious man with the cane and the beard from, Patrick, I asked Patrick after the show what was going on with that guy. He claims, this is a crazy twist of fate as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this guy only found our show, and he's a fan. That's why he came to that St. Paddy's Day thing to meet us, but he was a motorcycle guy. He never listened to the radio. He took his motorcycle out every day, and he got into like a really bad motorcycle accident. As a result, and that's also, I think, maybe why he had the cane. I thought it was because he was doing some sort of wizardry, but apparently is this right? He had the cane because he got in the motorcycle accident. He couldn't ride his bike anymore because it got ruined, but also he had to ride in a car.
Yeah, and that's how he discovered our show.
He found our show. So I think it's a pretty good trade-off. He may never be able to ride or walk properly again, but he did discover this show. And he got a chance to meet you and do God knows what with you at that bar.
Chat. That is literally all we did.
That's a good ripple effect.
Chatting with useless. What was worse, being in a horrible motorcycle accident or chatting with useless weirdo? It's gotta
He's like, I'm going to get back on a motorcycle.
Pretty close. Let's find out what's trending in a moment, but a brand new segment on the show to celebrate the greatness that is Steph Curry. We can't break it all down because it's just too much goodness. And even though some people argued that he was in a slump for a few games, which
what
when you're playing it, when you're putting up 50 points and dropping 3-pointers from everywhere on the court, when you have a game that you don't do that, people are like, oh, it's a slump. Oh my God, 2 in a row.
Losing it.
We don't have time to get through all the Curry highlights on this show, so we have a new segment that will be debuting throughout the show called Curry in a Hurry. It's the quickest moments of some greatness of Steph Curry in under a second.
Less than 4 to play. Curry off the kick, knocks down the three. Curry had 33.
There you go. Curry in a Hurry. Amazing.
All right. If you are a mediocre garage band who just wants to rock like you've never rocked before, Dave Grohl's got your back. He, when he's not inviting people on stage to play drums or chug beers, he's writing to the city council to plead for freedom to rock anywhere, anytime.
He just announced that they're taking a break with the Foo Fighters, for a little bit, and as a result, he knows that he's not going to be able to.
He's like, I can't help people on stage anymore, so now I'm just going to.
Can't have beers with my fans. It's been 3 days since we announced this, so what can we do? And then immediately, I know, truly is maybe the greatest man to ever live.
He is. So this high school garage band in Cornwall, who call themselves Black Leaves of Envy, were recently asked to stop practicing in their garage because it violated noise laws. Even though their closest neighbors were a football field away and no neighbors actually ever complained, they were asked to keep their noise level between 30 and 40 decibels, which is about the sound of a dishwasher.
Oh, God. What town is this? Footloose?
Kind of. It seems like it.
There'll be no rocking or rolling.
Stop the rocking. The band responded by pleading to their hero, Dave Grohl, and he acted right away. He wrote a personal letter to the city council asking them to reconsider. He even took it further by adding ways to soundproof your space on the Foo Fighters website. And the city actually did respond. Not that amazing response. They just said, we're going to try and find a reasonable solution. But they did respond, so maybe he's going to make a difference in Cornwall, and maybe the future of Black Leaves of Envy will be bright now.
I wonder if Grohl even listened to the band and decided this band is good, because if he's going to go put his name out there to defend the band, so they should be able to play.
Yeah, like what if they now play and they're really horrible? And a lot of them are. They're a high school garage band. Like, they're horrible no matter what. Dave Grohl was probably horrible then.
Black Leaves of Envy, the Nickelback cover band.
No, never mind. Soundproof. All right, sure. The Warriors are kicking ass right now. They're only 9 wins away from the best record in NBA history. But we know the real reason behind their success. We all know it's Riley Curry. She's the one calling the shots and apparently deciding her dad's endorsements, too. The real reason Curry went with Under Armour instead of Nike as an endorsement was because Riley just hated Nike shoes. Yep. The multi-billion-dollar company's future with Curry all came down to the decision of a 3-year-old, as her dad laid out 3 shoes for her, a Nike shoe, an Adidas, and an Under Armour shoe. She picked up the Nike one, threw it over her shoulder, did the same with Adidas, and then she picked up the Under Armour one, handed it to her daddy, and voila.
That's if I were...
Leave it to a 3-year-old to make decisions just so simple.
If I were Steph Curry's kid, he would be endorsed by Fruit by the Foot and Boogers. that would be the best decision I could have made at 3, and probably currently too. Here we go. In fact, listen, this is crazy. They were breaking down this endorsement and what it's worth. I could ballpark in my mind, at least I could have thought what I would have ballparked an endorsement deal would be worth with Steph Curry. I was off by so many zeros. Listen to
You talked about this being a colossal mistake for Nike. Is there any way to quantify what Steph Curry's worth is to Under Armour at this point?
Well, Morgan Stanley tried to do just that. They had a note projecting his value to Under Armour at potentially.
Guess the number. What's he worth?
I feel like they ran out of paper.
To Under Armour.
$10 million?
$10 million. All right, that's a low guess, but still.
I don't know these things. I don't.
Still a good guess, though. 10 million seems like a lot of money. But Patrick, yes, you want to get in on this? Go ahead.
I'm going to say $80 million.
$80 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Deadeyes, you care to throw in a wager on what you think this analyst, the finest financial
Stanley
minds,
people?
Morgan Stanley?
I actually already know, and it's amazing.
All right, don't
Really?
say it. Don't say it. He just doesn't want to guess. He doesn't know.
Upwards of $14 billion. Now,
$14 billion. $14 billion.
Okay, wait, I changed to $10 billion.
No. Al, you're only off by so many. You were off by so. I mean, I was in the high millions, but I didn't think even billion. Nowadays, though, especially here, more than anywhere else in the country, numbers get thrown around, and they almost, I mean, that still has a shocking value, right? I hear $14 billion, I go, that's a lot of money. But you hear every day you walking around the streets, even just listening to people's conversations, they're like, well, it's an app, and it'll help you get your groceries faster, and we're valued at $48 gajillion.
So
like,
is Steph Curry worth more than Apple at this point?
Well, they're saying that deal with with Under Armour could be, that's what he's worth to Under Armour, and that's, of course, internationally, sales over the next, whatever it is, 10, 15, 20, who knows how they figured out this number. But.
Well, I bet they want a lifetime, because LeBron James, doesn't he have like a lifetime endorsement deal with Nike? So they should do that immediately with Steph Curry. If Riley Curry approves, that is.
If this is true, Riley Curry is the greatest financial mind ever. I mean, I'm going to start leaving all of my decisions in the mind of a 3-year-old, because
but she will hand you the
smart.
boogers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, imagine if he had signed a deal with LA Gear, one of those crappy shoe companies. It would be horrible.
Velcro.
But don't worry, because the sports analyst and also the financial analyst was able to explain just how much money $14 billion is.
Upwards of $14 billion. Now, I'm no fancy money expert. I don't have the best math skills in the world, but I think that's a lot of money. I think that's a significant amount of money.
Zing!
Thanks for breaking it down for the rest of us.
That's a lot of money, am I right?
Math skills.
All right, yesterday we talked about chili stouts and how they pair perfectly with a bag of Fritos. And wouldn't you know it, right after we chatted about that, possibly right as we were chatting about it, there was breaking Frito beer news. Yesterday morning, a Frito truck and a beer truck collided on Highway 95 in Florida, leaving two of the world's best inventions sprawled out all over the highway, shutting down all southbound lanes. They spent nearly 4 hours scooping up beery Fritos to the right shoulder, and afterwards they still felt the need to let everybody know that they were going to throw away the spilled Fritos and beer products and not attempt to just blow on them and put them back into a bag. But maybe this will inspire someone to actually make Frito-flavored beer once and for all.
We were saying yesterday, in the process of talking about that Uber hack, that they're going to pay the $10 million to anyone who can figure out how to hack, or whatever, $10,000, whoever can hack into the Uber app properly, or go ahead and help them fix their flaws. And in the same conversation, we were saying, find a beer that does not go with Fritos.
Yes.
And just like that, from our mouth to the universe, a Frito truck and a beer truck collide within minutes of us having that conversation.
It happened at like 7:30 a.m. And I feel like that's that's exactly when we were talking about it.
The power of the show. 800-696-1053 to join. Don't be a stranger. We do the thing for you, so let's all talk. Return in a moment. He Cray, She Cray is going to be a little earlier today, since we didn't even get to it last week. We've got the final bracket of badness today. We will announce the winner of the worst parents, and then we've got our final one today, and then tomorrow they will all battle it out to figure out who is the worst person of the year 2016 so far. We will get into a round of Am I a Racist a little bit later this morning with Miss Pat, who will be by to hang with us today. Former drug dealer, former shooting victim, and current comedian. So she'll be on with us. And the big effing tip will be coming to a rideshare car near you. Last week, I don't know how it is that we ran out of time for He Cray, She Cray, but we never got to it, and people not happy about that. Last night, I got to experience some live She Cray. And I received a text message that said, "Are you feeling naughty?" And my wife did not like that I was getting that text message, even though I'm pretty sure it was coming from a bot. She didn't want to believe that last night. So...
Well, my heat craze sort of related to that. I feel like
yeah?
It might be a ripple effect type of deal.
I'm very curious about what would happen, by the way, if we all took each other's phones and we let listeners...
If we tweak each other's phones?
No, if we took each other's phones and we let listeners suggest phrases, and then... we randomly went through each other's contact list and sent these phrases to strangers to see what the reactions would be. Because I do think now the wrong text going to the wrong phone, as I said, can set off a chain reaction that can never be reversed.
Are we doing that? Because I am clearing my contacts.
No, you can't.
Yes.
That's what makes it
I
fun.
have never, even in the history of having a phone, ever cleared out contacts. I have contacts from people that
that you haven't talked to in years, so how great would it be if then you get a random text message that was suggested by someone who listens to the show?
So like an agent that I had like 10 years ago?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. They'd be like, oh, she's still alive? Jeez, they'd be shocked.
I knew she wouldn't go anywhere.
Probably be thrilled to hear from you. I hope she's doing that community theater production as The Pig.
It's not community theater, and it's selling really well.
Okay, good. I'm glad. You can see Allie starring in the Bay Area production of The Piglet and the Elephant.
No, it's Elephant and Piggy.
That's right.
And I'm playing the title role.
Seems like Elephant got top billing, though.
I'm Elephant and Piggy.
To be fair,
we're the same on the marquee.
The last time is when Allie was starring in Anne Frank the Musical, where she played the elephant. So it's very interesting. That was an unexpected twist right there.
I know. But they went through my Anne Frank footage, and they were like, this girl was born to play a pig.
I agree that, like you, I probably have 90% of the people in my phone that I do not talk to or have not spoken to in years. I'm sure it's people that I went to school with. It's people I used to work with.
They're people I catered with.
Yeah, but that's what makes it more fun, is that it could end up going to like an aunt or an uncle. Maybe it goes to the cousin you used to hook up with. Who knows? It could go to anyone at random, but it's a phrase that was randomly generated by the audience.
Well, should we start with feeling naughty? See where things go? I'll send that to my cousin.
Yeah, you probably already said that to
again.
him. Yeah. You've already said it. No, I'm not feeling naughty. You've asked me 30 times. Last time I was feeling naughty, we had incest. All right? Leave me alone. Well,
you don't call it sex, you just call it incest.
That's right.
We had incest.
I'm interested in something of that because I think it would be fascinating, first of all, what the reaction would be. I think most people once a week probably get a text message that wasn't perhaps intended to go to them, and oftentimes people just delete it or they go like, wrong number, sorry. I do think I do like the concept of seeing where it could go, though.
Well,
it could lead.
That almost got me in trouble when I planned the surprise party for Katie, because I had other friends whose names started with a K that I was planning this all with, and I sent Katie a text message about the limousine, and she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I blamed it on you.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "It's something for the show."
I feel like a lot of people blame
Groupon
stuff
roulette.
on me. Yeah,
Yay.
I get that a lot. I'm used to that. People I haven't worked with in 5 years still
And
blaming
people are
stuff
like,
on me.
"Oh, okay, fine, yeah, he's weird."
Kevin, if my wife calls, just say it was you. Okay, it was your idea. I'm like, what? What did I do? Do what? Why? But that's why. Like, I got over the weekend, I got a text from someone who works here who didn't mean to text me. He said something about moving the cars in the parking garage. And I wrote back, "Don't bother. The car has been stolen." And I didn't realize it was responding to a chain of people that were on there, and people started freaking out. They're like, "What do you mean the car was stolen? I just saw it. There were so many things in the back of that car we needed." I was like,
I don't think anyone should send mass text messages or mass emails to you.
It's a smart move.
You just are the wrench.
Well, I'm just saying, think about it. But let's put that. Let's put it in our back pocket for now.
In the idea basket?
Yeah, because we have an idea basket. Come on, when did they afford a basket for us here at Live 105? Not the case.
It's a basket I brought from home.
Oh, okay, of course it is. Lesbians love baskets.
I wove it myself.
Let's get to he cray, she cray, shall we? Here we go.
He cray, she cray, he cray, she cray, he cray, she cray, he cray, she cray.
Let's pray.
Thank you, President. I would imagine that I'm up since I have lost the last few of these, and you can vote. Of course, the He Cray, She Cray battle voting will happen at the Twitter, Kevin Klein Live. You can text in your thoughts. These are real things that have happened to real people, relationships that at one point I think were probably pretty strong, probably enjoyed a nice romantic meal together at the Olive Garden where they shared endless breadsticks.
Things only go downhill from there.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely true. Once the breadsticks are limited, so is the conversation. And as a result, well, oftentimes people turn to, they turn to the level of cray that you can only usually get out of someone in a committed relationship. It's a very different level of cray. And I bring to you a lady. Show you her face first. You can describe, you don't have to describe her because we'll put this up so people can check it out at the website.
Oh, she looks like a methy Katy Perry.
Yes, well said.
Thanks.
She really does.
She looks like a methy Kia.
But she also, in those eyes, she does look like she's got, you can always tell the eyes are the window to the murderous soul. And I do believe that she has one of the murderous souls. This woman is 21. And things backfired on her very quickly because she got into a fight with her boyfriend. And she decided, even though he did not do anything physically to harm her, that she knows that the way that the cops would come immediately is if she called the cops and say that he was physically abusive to me. So that's exactly what she did. She called the cops, and they just got into a typical, relationship spat. And she said, "Well, I'm going to call the cops and tell them that you're hitting me." And he goes, "But I'm not hitting you." And she goes, "Well, it doesn't matter because they'll come anyway." And she was right. The cops came. She called and she said that my boyfriend is hitting me. And so the cops arrived. And they said that they didn't find any marks on her at all that shows that he was being abusive even a little bit. But while the cops were there, the boyfriend decided to show them some footage that he had in his phone of her having sex with their dogs.
What? Oh, my God.
And that is when she was arrested and charged on felony. I believe those are felony charges. 3 counts of engaging in sexual conduct with an animal.
Oh. Wow.
Does that make her the worst type of pet owner or the best type of pet owner? I don't know.
I mean, she's giving her dogs an extra service.
I don't know what exactly is going on
there. Oh, my God.
Apparently, she was doing this and sexting him the pictures of her, sexting him the video of her doing this with the dogs.
She's like, my boyfriend's going to love this.
To try to make him jealous. So let me just give you a couple levels of cray here. If you need levels of cray, I'm so sick and tired of losing the he cray, she cray battles with Allie that I had to bring multiple levels of cray. So if you go ahead and you don't like the fact that she decided to call the cops on a guy that was not being physical because she wanted them to show up, that's a level of emotional cray.
That's first layer.
Second level is that she thought it would make him jealous if she was taking videos of the dogs having their way with her. That's a whole different level of cray. And then her actually going through with that and coming up with this plan. I dare you to come up with anything that beats me today in he cray, she cray.
Jeez. Well, do you...
Or as I like to call this one, he cray, she spay. That's what I call this edition.
It doesn't say whether she was on the giving or the receiving end of this sexual encounter with her.
Do you really want the details?
I mean, I'm kind of curious.
All right, I'll give you the details. The individual admitted that he did not beat her and also admitted that she herself chose to engage in oral.
What?
With, I'm sorry, I said 3 of the dogs. I made her sound like a slut. It was just 2 of the pet dog. Sorry.
Oh, well, then that's not that
just
bad.
Just 2 of them. I take back.
Right. Well, I'm totally going to win this.
It's not cray at all anymore. Which I find to be, obviously, yes, it's disturbing. Something I wish we hadn't had to talk about on morning radio at 7 o'clock. But
you have to win.
For the he cray, she cray battle, for my pride, please, when it comes to voting, all right, let's get serious for a moment. I know there's a lot of ads out there for Trump and Clinton.
Yeah, well, a woman performing fellatio on a dog definitely is a little cray.
Just think about when you're
make her boyfriend jealous.
Yeah. When you're thinking about voting, I just ask you to please remember to vote woman servicing dog with her mouth. Okay?
Okay, that's not fair that you have all the sound effects over there.
I want to get political for a moment. And voting is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility.
Well, everyone's saying Kevin wins, Kevin wins. It doesn't matter what Ali says now.
All right? I had to spend so much time looking at some of the more horrific things that society has to offer to bring to you what I consider to be the perfect storm of cray in this edition of He Cray, She
I guess
Cray.
it had to take 3 weeks of losing for you to
really did. Finally got my
bring out the big guns.
Got me off my ass.
All right. Well, I wanted to talk about the story that we didn't get to last week about the man dressed as a ninja that was pleasuring himself in front of a woman's apartment while wearing those Vibram 5-toed shoes. I thought that was definitely a level of cray. There's also one.
What was the crayest part of that?
The Vibram shoes. The fact that he was wearing Vibram shoes and a ninja outfit in public.
Right. I feel like the ninja outfit and the public pleasuring is the least of the thing that I would be most embarrassed about. Like
is the Vibram shoes. Yeah. Like someone they got him on camera because he was going back and forth. I think he went to the same woman's house like 4 times in a month. And
those shoes, obviously.
They had video of it.
They're meant for
he must be embarrassed.
It's like rock climbing or creeping up on people like when they're not paying attention, right? Those are the 2 main reasons of those shoes.
They're perfect for that. But I will bring you another story instead. So this man met the love of his life on Match.com. Like most people. They got married within 2 years of one another. This man's name is Daniel Wilson. He was a self-employed carpenter. He had sporadic income. He wasn't really making a lot of money, but his wife made a ton of money. She was the breadwinner of the family. She supported him and his 3 children. And they were very happy together. But then I think what makes this man cray is that things were going well for him and he ruined it all himself with his jealousy because he realized that the woman that he was with was way better than he was and that she must be cheating on him because why would she be faithful to a loser like him? So he went to the spy store and he bought various amounts of spy equipment, which he planted all over the house.
I don't know. These spy stores, by the way, every single person who buys anything in the spy store should be immediately trailed for some sort of illegal activity.
Yeah, so
I don't think there's ever been a person on the up and up that's went in there and got himself a pen camera.
Things are going well. I'm going to go to the spy store.
Yeah. 99% of that store's in business because of people that want to perv on their nannies.
I just got my new Vibram shoes. I'm going to go right over to the spy store.
Spy store.
So he bought various recording devices. He also used... he planted them around the house. He also used his camera on his phone to record their conversations. So these are just regular conversations that they're having in the house that he is recording. He also started videotaping her undressing, which he's like creeping on his own wife. Then she started noticing some of these things, and then she noticed a camera on one of her breast pumps, which she then crushed and handed back to him and said, "This needs to stop." She got horrified eventually, and he got arrested.
How close of an image does the guy need that he's got to hide the camera on the actual breast pump?
I know. Like, he wasn't even hiding them anymore.
Yeah.
She eventually went to the police and said, there are so many cameras in my house that I think the entire house is infested, and my car, too. He had recorded conversations from her just being in the car.
People get when there's an inkling of cheating going on, people get super paranoid.
Yeah,
and everyone knows you're going to hide a camera. That's what decorative vases are for. All right, they're not don't hide them in breast pumps, please.
So this just escalated to the point where he ruined his own marriage, and he had so many recording devices in there that he was able to get arrested for it. So that is my heat grade. There's also a dog involved in this one, but I'm not going to focus on that.
What happened with the dog?
Well, the dog was sick, and
stop it! You're just trying to get sympathy votes now.
No.
Forget it.
I'm serious. The dog was sick, and the vet said you should euthanize it, and then the guy was like, "No, I'll take care of it," and he took the dog out in the backyard.
Okay, stop. Now you're just trying to.
No.
That's not true.
There was a hammer involved. I'm not going to
stop it.
That's okay. We don't have to focus on that.
You know who the votes belong to in this edition of He Cray, She Cray. Please, 361. Let me just hear what's going on in the call center. Listen to all these votes.
Hello, She Cray. I'd like to cast my vote.
Listen to all these votes pouring in.
Your number?
I didn't know we had all these people working here.
Well, we bring in more people during He Cray, She Cray because it gets very busy.
They work for 15 minutes and then they go home.
One moment, please.
You calling about the dog sex? Yes. What was the technique used?
925 said, I've always kind of figured Allie wore those five-toed shoes.
I always thought so as well, to be completely honest. All right, well, the votes...
Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I own a pair, but I don't wear them.
The vote's continuing at 800-696-1053, 36105 to text them our direction. On Twitter, Kevin Klein Live. Back in a moment. We've got a March Madness bracket to break down, the worst of the worst. And we will start our tipping for rideshare drivers. So if you do not have the show on, I recommend you get it there. By the way, if you're in a pool situation and you convince your driver to put on the show, and we end up getting into your pool, let's just say at random, well, every single person in there will get themselves BFD tickets, whether they want them or not, and we will force them to go.
So you're saving money by using a pool.
That's right.
And you're getting tickets.
Hey, Twinkie.
Hey there.
Where I know you're somewhere in the financial district of the city of San Francisco with BFD tickets in your hand, and you've requested which sort of service to pick you up?
This is a Lyft.
Is it? Do you know what type of car is going to be picking you up?
It's a Toyota Prius.
What's
the person's name?
What a dumb question. Of course it's a Toyota Prius. Why would I even ask that?
It's a 99% chance that it's a Prius. What's the person's name?
This is a man named Richard.
How far away?
He's here. He's been here for about 30 seconds around the corner, waiting for me.
Oh, he's waiting for... Oh, well, don't make him wait any longer. All right, so you know you've got the BFD tickets in your hand. It's the Big F and Tip, the BFT for BFD. Rideshare drivers, you put our show on, you drive around in the morning. I know a lot of you listen. You text us all the time that your passengers have asked you to turn us off before. We appreciate that. Are you getting in right now?
Oh, I was looking at the wrong driver. Sorry. Here he is.
Of course. That sounds about right.
Oh, no, I'm being murdered. Oh, darn it.
That was not Richard.
What station are you... As you choke me.
Get into your car. You're just going to ask him to turn up the radio. Turn up the radio. We'll hear what he's listening to. If it's us, he gets the tickets.
Yeah. All right. Hi, yeah, that's me. Thank you. All right, good morning. How are you doing? Good. What are you listening to right now? Nice. I like it. You don't have to stand down. Oh, yes, please, yeah.
What's he listening to? What's he listening to?
I don't know.
Wait, what was it you listening to again? What station is it? Station. Sirius. Yeah, good job.
Wow,
good job. Don't tell him good job.
Yeah, what the hell? Do you understand what you're supposed to be doing there? Hey, you made a wise decision paying for radio.
I love Sirius.
Satellite radio. All right. Smart man.
I'm listening to you.
You idiot. Twinkie, do you understand what you're supposed to be doing?
Sure. I really want to hear the local stuff around here.
don't think he knows what he's supposed to be doing at all.
Well, the guy doesn't get tickets because he wasn't listening to Live 105.
Yeah, but maybe we're on his first local preset. Like maybe he, a lot of times.
Is it?
Oh, that's us.
Oh, no. This sounds kind of fuzzy. Can you try another one?
No, that's our station. He finally
You found the right one?
He finally gets us on. He goes, "I turn this off. This sounds horrible."
Oh, yeah, if you like that. That's your favorite.
All right, you know what,
Are you
Zach,
flirting with him?
Twinkie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing a good job of relaying what's happening to us at all. And we're trying to tell the story on the radio. Do you understand what we're doing here?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's happening?
Dad, I was pick him up and explain. Tell him to get out of that car immediately and take the tickets with him. Did he have any idea what his job was? He's supposed to alert. Maybe we got to go back to Useless Weirdo. We thought we couldn't
this
get any.
This makes Useless Weirdo look like the shining star.
Useless Weirdo is like Ted Koppel compared to this kid. I mean, what the hell, man? I really thought he understood what he was supposed to do.
I'm going over the bridge. See ya.
Doesn't he understand? It's so simple. You get in the car. Hey, what station you listen to? Oh, not Live 105? Okay, had you been listening to Live 105, you would have gotten an envelope full of concert tickets. And now you've learned your valuable lesson. Thank you. I'll get off at the next corner. And then we try it again.
But they have to go through all of his presets first.
What the hell was he doing there? Oh, satellite. I think he just went out and bought satellite radio. I think he just convinced...
I've become a Lyft driver.
What a disaster. All right, well, that was the first attempt. That guy's not getting any tickets. That was horrible.
So now he has to go get another one, right?
Yeah, of course. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Twinkie?
Yeah, I'm out of the car.
Oh, you got out already? Good. I'm sure that guy loves you.
Did you just tuck and roll?
No. He pulled over to me and was asking me what was wrong. I told him I made a mistake.
It was me. It's not you, it's me.
I think we're the ones that made the mistake. We're sending you out there.
Let him down easy.
Do you understand what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to someone who's already listening to Live 105.
He was already listening to 105?
No, that's what I'm looking for right now.
No, you're not. No. What you're doing, all right, this wasn't explained to you clearly. Let me make this clear. We wait for your ride share to pick you up, all right? If you get into it and they are listening to Live 105 right now, you say, hey, thanks for listening. Here's a present. Here's a bribe. I know you're not allowed to accept tips, but here it is anyway. It's a BFT, a big effing tip from your friends at Live 105 in the morning. Thanks for listening to the show, giving it a chance.
Right.
If they're not, you say to them, what are you listening to, like you did, and then you go, okay, want to let you know, had you been listening to 105.3, you would have gotten a tip right now. That's it.
Please pull over and let me out.
You don't ask them their life story, their musical preferences.
Okay.
Okay, it's very easy.
Right.
All right. So you're going to get another one?
Yes.
All right, we'll check in on you again in a moment. This went well. Perfect.
You were very firm with him, Kevin. You did it well.
I mean, it's really simple. It should be simple, a quick in and out process, really. And if you get into a pool and you got to drive around the bay for a couple hours to learn your lesson, then fine. That's what you have to do.
Now he's going to get another car and be like, "Are you a cat person or a dog person?"
No.
Did you understand this at all?
Listen, what do you think about people having sex with animals for he cray, she cray? No, you just go right to the BFT. It's simple, in and out. And if you're driving rideshare, put on the show. And if you're going to hop in one this morning, tell your driver to put us on. They could score tickets just for doing that. And it is paying it forward. That is what we can do to help. For thanking you guys for spreading the word. Curry in a hurry. We don't have time for all of the Steph Curry highlights. They're so amazing that we give them to you in a rapid fire form.
Curry set back for a 7-point pointer for Curry.
But there's other things happening in the world of sports you need to know about. 9 new rules in the NFL. And
none of which I'm familiar with. And I'm not familiar with any of the regular rules either.
To break them down one at a time throughout the show, we go to our professional sports analyst who knows nothing about sports or probably what the definition of the word analyst is.
Okay, so the first one that they changed is... Do you want me to just explain what I think this means?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, what is the rule?
The rule is that it permanently moves the line of scrimmage for try kicks to the defensive team's 15-yard line and allows the defense to return any missed try.
All right. What do you think that means? It's pretty clear, I think, in the description of the rule, but okay.
No, that is so wordy. So I think that this means that the kicker, he has to kick the ball closer to their home goal line, and that when the other team catches it, they're allowed to run as fast as they can to the other side.
Well, you were kind of actually correct on that one. You didn't do a great job of explaining it, but I think you.
Nuh-uh, that's right.
I think in your mind you're kind of actually accurate. I don't really know what you're saying anymore, so I'm just guessing on this one. But I think you nailed it. So
I don't think I did, Kevin.
8 more rules.
I think you're learning less about sports as you know
Have you been talking to Twinkie on the hold, or he's just been sitting there on hold the whole time?
He's sitting there on hold. He's getting in the car.
But aren't you supposed to be like keeping us updated on exactly? Do you have another car? Is it ready to go now? Do we have to wait another 10 minutes?
I think we got to wait.
Do we have to wait, or did you get another car?
I've got a car on the way. It should be here in 3 minutes.
Okay.
The first driver that was coming back was the Richard again.
Oh, no!
What are the odds of that? All right,
Richard's like, cancel.
Who's picking you up now?
Now it's Hannibal.
Hannibal?
Did you say animal?
Hannibal without the H.
It says he's a
cannibal.
He's a cannibal? All right, how's his rating? Not very good. All right, what kind of car is he driving?
He's in a Ford C-Max hybrid.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Now, our pride is on the line
this
here.
This ride could be his last.
Yeah. It's been good knowing you, Twinkie.
Yeah. You and Annabelle will have a lovely ride together.
All right. So you've got the tickets ready to go, the BFD tickets.
Yes.
Okay.
In my hand.
Great. How much longer until he's there?
2 more minutes.
Boy. The excitement. Will he be listening to Live 105? Will he not be?
I don't know if Annabelle is really in our demo.
Why? How do you know that?
I just...
What are you judging?
I just feel like...
Is there a picture of him?
I feel like he just listens to scary movie soundtracks.
You think so?
Maybe he's a huge Kevin Klein live fan.
I'm sure he is. Look, we reached lots of different people. Weren't you surprised all the different types of people that were coming up to us at the Irish bar thing to listen to the show?
Yeah.
It wasn't just like one type. It's a whole mix of people.
I'm Annabelle, and I love Kevin Klein.
Even all the people that Allie says racist things about were coming up to us and say, I really like the show, and I don't even mind racist Allie. They said they don't like you either, but understand that it was a back-and-forth operation. You got to be at 1 minute now, right?
Yes.
Okay. 1 minute.
Didn't I see him in the distance?
Oh, come on. It's the big moment we've been waiting for now. Let's get some sweet payoff to this BFT, the big effing tip.
I feel like these drivers are just going to start communicating with each other and go, don't pick up this guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
there's a guy downtown somewhere.
Okay, well, do you play music in here?
I have a Bluetooth.
Oh, but you don't have anything on right now.
Oh, God. He's opted for silence.
Based on what you're listening to, so... you have nothing. I'm right at the bar, but I'd like to listen to something if you could play something on the radio.
I got anything you want.
Yes, you.
What do you want?
Oh, if you would have been listening to Live 105, Kevin Klein Live.
No, he messed up again. He messed it up again. God damn it.
And here's your punishment.
All right, forget it. I don't know. There's always next year.
We'll try again.
Disaster. No, let's be honest. Do a live radio show every day. Some things we try just aren't going to work out. The big effing tip last year, I believe, if I remember correctly, started very slowly. We had people from the street team or whatever they're called.
It sounds like
the
action team.
It's a cooler way of saying homeless. The street team.
I'm part of the street team.
Yeah, I'm a street teamer. Are you homeless? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You want some blow?
It's very hard to tell the difference between people that work on the Live 105 street team and people that live in the streets. It's very different. That's a game we should play. But, last week I remember there were different people getting into ride shares all over the Bay Area, Oakland, San Jose, Burlingame, popping in. And it took us a while. Like, a lot of people, they don't put any music on. They just put on smooth jazz because they think that keeps most people happy and less stabby. And as a result, but it didn't take, maybe the third or maybe it's the fifth one, somewhere in the top 5 ride shares the person did have on our show, and they were given some BFD tickets. So we're hoping to beat that record this year. We're already 0 for 2, although I want to say user error on both of those on us, on our end.
But at least we have the dongs to try it.
We have the dongs?
We have the gumption to try this stuff, even though it doesn't work out.
The gumption is not in the dongs, Allie. It's in the balls.
I know. I'm just saying, in our case, it's the dongs.
Oh, well, yes. It's true. 3 dongs between the two of us.
Exactly.
All right, March Madness. Yesterday, it was parents, and I believe the winner I didn't see the final tally on Twitter, but I saw the overwhelming votes on text at the end of the show, and I think that everyone agreed in the biggest upset in March Madness history, the overly sexual parents from a play-in match ended up beating the always constantly needing technical support help parents to become the worst of the worst parents. So congratulations.
Well, that is an upset.
I think we know how those parents will be celebrating tonight and for their quickie nooner.
And all over the bed that you grew up in.
And someone made the interesting point, by the way, about those parents, the overly sexed up parents, is that a lot of times I feel like they're not actually that they're not that sexual. They just want everyone to believe they are. There's two different types of parents in that group. There are the ones that are super horny because they're drinking some sort of a new herbal tea that gets them going. But then there's also the ones that just want everyone to think that they haven't lost it.
Or they don't have sex very often, so that when they do, they want to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
Or they never have sex, and that makes them perv out on like the hairdresser or the receptionist or whoever it is.
The woman who sprayed on her 3 extra coats of Elizabeth Taylor White Diamonds wants the world to know she's ready to go. All right, well, today it's the final bracket of March Madness. And keep in mind, the winner of today's bracket will be battling all of the other bracket winners tomorrow to find out who is the worst of the worst person of 2016. And today, it's a good one. It is the worst of the worst boss. The worst March Madness bracket boss category. We will start in your East Regional. The number 1 seed and the number 4 seed. Now, the 1 seed is the relationship jumping boss. The guy is your boss, but he really wants more than that. And that means that he will try to get some out-of-office antics going on the weekend, involving like birthday parties, events, come and have dinner at the house.
They want to be the cool boss.
Yes, and as a result, they would like to jump your relationship past the corporate space and into the personal space.
Yeah, and sometimes this even carries into the workday, like not even planning things on the weekend. It's like, let's hang out during the workday.
Yes.
Let's go, why don't you come in my office? Let's just shoot the S for a little while.
But the problem is, you don't know when that hat goes from friendly friend to boss, like real quick. And sometimes
then it's
you're
confusing.
like, yeah, I thought we were doing friendly cocaine off your desk. Now you're my boss and I'm getting in trouble for this? What the hell? When did that switch?
Yeah, they can turn on you.
There is your number 1 seed in the worst of the worst boss bracket, battling the number 4 seed, the new wave boss, Mr. Feng Shui the Office. Treadmill desks for all. If there's a new office trend, this guy jumps on it immediately, and he thinks it's going to increase productivity for everyone around. So, as a result, things are being changed constantly, and oftentimes things that you liked are gone. New things are coming in.
Right. You're like, where are my Skittles? I buy these every day from the company kitchen.
No more Skittles.
We're not doing that anymore.
It's now edamame in the vending machine.
Exactly.
Edamame is that's brain food. That's what we call
Increases work productivity.
So the Feng Shui boss is battling the relationship jumping boss in the first bracket in the East. All right, moving to the Southeast bracket. This boss likes to share with you lots of information. The TMI boss, because you're getting intimate details about all things going on in their life. You know about all medical conditions, all personal situations.
Right. Well, my IBS is acting up, so I have to eat this quinoa every morning. Otherwise, it's just, it's a murder scene.
My wife's been sleeping with the dogs again, so, I slept on the couch here at work last night.
She cray, am I right?
But they're the boss, so you listen, because that's what you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
But you've learned a lot of information now, and it's information that makes you quite uncomfortable.
Everything there is to know about their body parts and the way their insides work.
That's the 2 seed. If your boss has a mole, you know all about it. It's probably even asked you to check it from time to time. Excuse me, that was sexist. I said he. Could be she. Could be a she-mole.
It could be a she-mole.
So you've got that boss battling the 3 seed in the East. And I don't know how this is not a 1 seed in the West region, but the total a-hole just for the sake of being a total a-hole boss. This boss is not looking to be a friend. They want to make it quite clear they're the boss. They always want you to know they're the boss, and as a result, they're an a-hole no matter what the circumstances are.
This person's dad was an a-hole,
yes.
And they feel like they need to pass it on because that shows strength.
Right.
Fear is strength.
Yeah, they're from a long line of a-holes.
I don't want to be your friend.
Right when you think they're going to break that a-hole barrier to say something kind of inspirational, like, listen, I'm only hard on the ones I like, they actually end up saying something more a-holey, like, I'm only hard on the people I don't like. So They're the constant a-hole boss, and they're a battle to the TMI boss, and that is in the southeast region. All right, we'll break down the west region, the worst of the worst boss bracket. There's a lot out there, and people are sending in their suggestions as well. We will come back with that. We will attempt another failed, I'm sure, another failed attempt at giving away the BFD. And Miss Pat will be here to answer the question once and for all, is Allie racist?
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
All right, let's get to that West region quickly because Miss Pat has arrived and she'll be on with us in a few moments. If you would like to get some BFD tickets, a couple of ways to get them. Be a rideshare driver. Sure, drive around listening to our show. We could randomly hop into your car, and who knows? You're listening to us, you get yourself an envelope full of tickets. If you're in one of them pools and you convince your driver to put on the show, well, even better, everyone in the car gets tickets as well for Live 105's BFD. And nothing makes a person on their way to a business meeting on a Thursday morning happier than tickets to see The Offspring.
Exactly.
Before we get to this bracket, what's going on the text line?
People are nominating all kinds of horrible bosses.
Oh, boy.
The people that claim they've already had the bosses that we've mentioned. But 707 said the absent boss, the one who's never around but doesn't give any forgiveness for not getting things done.
Oh, just wait, because I believe that boss is well represented in the West region.
What about the lazy boss who doesn't deal with confrontation and passes on responsibility and blame to all their lower level employees?
You know what? Lazy boss did not make it into the bracket. It did not make it into the top 8 seeds. Not even a playoff.
But there is something to that. The blame boss, the boss that will always blame everybody else for the things that are going wrong.
Well, you
in the
didn't
company.
say is the blame boss in. You said is the lazy boss in. There is a blame boss, a very close sister of the blame boss. Yeah. All right. Let's quickly recap. In the East, we said already it's the relationship jumping boss is the 1 seed. Not enough to just be your boss. Also wants to be your friend. Then there's the new wave boss. That's right. Feng Shui the office. And granola has been replaced, or the refrigerator has been replaced by just ice cubes because they're easier and better on the environment.
Your desk chair has been replaced with a treadmill.
The TMI boss, they like to share a lot of personal information about themselves, and you are forced to listen because you are the employee of that boss. And the 100% a-hole, 100% of the time boss. Those are your battles happening right now in the East region. In the West region, your number 1 seed, the blame boss. The blame boss is oftentimes responsible for lots of the problems that are affecting your corporation, your company, your group, whatever it is. But, of course, they will take none of that on themselves. It's lots of other people's faults, including your fault for everything that's happening.
This is the person that you don't even know how they got to this point where they've become an actual boss because they're so bad at their job. But it's because they've climbed the corporate ladder by blame.
Every step has been blame. And every issue that's happened, they step away from it and they go, that wasn't me, that was all those guys. All right, well, then we'll make you boss. You fix it. The blame boss is very frustrating because no matter what you do, good, bad, or otherwise, you know you'll be blamed for any bad that happens. And bad will happen. They are battling a very difficult type of boss, a manipulative type of boss, the number 4 seed, the trickster boss. The trickster boss has the ability to trick you into doing additional things or working a lot more than you normally would or taking on responsibility by saying things like, what do you got planned this weekend? And then you're like, it's cool, not much. I'm going to be around. Oh, good. Then we're going to need you to come in here and do this.
Or even later that night.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you doing tonight?
You got dinner plans? No,
I'm relaxing. Oh, cool. Then I just had this new deposition that I wanted you to do.
Yeah, the trickster boss you think is going to be the relationship jumper. Like, you think they're about to be like, what do you got planned after later on today? And then you think they're going to be going to get dinner, and you think, oh, good opportunity. Maybe they're going to sit me down and offer me a raise. You're like, nothing. Oh, good. Can you stay here then for a bunch more hours and do more stuff?
For free.
The janitor quit. If you could just unclog the toilet. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Could you make a dinner reservation for me and my husband?
The trickster boss is up there battling in the top bracket. Now, the bottom, the Southwest region, the number 2 seed is the absentee boss. Very similar to the ghost tender that we talked about earlier this week in Worst of the Worst Bartenders. The absent boss has got a lot of personal time, a lot of vacation time. They're the boss, but they've got also the best office, but it's never used because they're never there.
I know. It's just empty all the time, and you're like, what a waste of space.
The view is great. They've got a lot of cool things being sent over, packages, gifts, especially around the holidays. They get a lot of great fruitcakes that just go uneaten, just sit there and develop mold because they're never in to pick them up. And there's always a reason why. Like, they're on corporate retreats, or at least that's what they claim. But more often than not, they're just never around.
Yeah.
You never see this boss.
And then it leaves the workers to all just constantly talk to each other and be like, where is Cindy? Oh, she's in Fiji. Oh, she's in Japan.
I like in all of your hypotheticals, the boss is a female.
Yeah.
Allie's really...
My brain's awesome.
Allie's really gone and balanced this thing out. And the last in the Southwest region, battling the absentee boss, is maybe my least favorite and the number 3 seed, the nepotism boss. You know why they're the boss, because their grandfather started the company. Or because they were somehow able to work their bloodline into that position. Yeah, sure, they've never done it before. They've got no experience.
Not qualified.
Not qualified to do pretty much anything, but hey, the family tree gave them that right. So as a result, they are in charge of you and whatever they say.
And they're very
goes.
immature, and they'll make decisions and be like, that's the way it is. And you're like, but that makes no sense at all.
There you have it.
Hey, my grandfather started this company.
Right. No, right. Your grandfather's a great guy, but you not so much. There you go. It's your worst of the worst boss bracket. Go ahead. You can vote. Twitter, it's happening there. Facebook will throw it up for you to take a look at as well. Come back in a moment. We will be chatting with Miss Pat and giving you some BFD tickets. If we can answer the question, are you racist? All right, we'll head back into the streets in a little bit and figure out if we can find a rideshare driver that's actually listening to this show so that we can give them some sweet BFD tickets. But let us welcome to the studio now at Punchline Comedy Club for a show tonight and 2 tomorrow and 2 on Saturday. Busy working lady. Miss Pat is here with us. I'm so thrilled. Allie and I were talking about some of your lines yesterday. And when Allie does an impression of anyone, it's not great. But when she was doing an impression...
Well, obviously, I'm not going to do it justice.
It was so funny, though, because the joke you made was funny. And I'm not going to say what it is, because I don't know if you're still doing it, but it involves Oreo crumbs, all I'm going to say.
Oh, God, that was an old one.
I know, but I saw you. I mean, I saw you when you were in San Francisco. It must be 3 or 4 years ago now, but I thought it was so hysterical. So I was telling Kevin, I was like, oh, my God, I saw her perform. It was at the makeout room. And I was talking about the Oreo cookie crumbs thing that you did.
Oh, my kids dying. Are fat.
Your kids are real fat. I saw them when you were in Last Comic Standing,
well,
right?
You can't be telling me in my face my kids are real fat, dude.
You just said it. I just agreed. I wasn't going to say you got fat kids, but they're big.
We like to eat. If
I was drafting a Seesaw fantasy team, I would draft them early round. That's all I'm saying.
And they would probably make the team, too.
Yeah.
A Seesaw team?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, fantasy Seesaw. I'll draft them.
Once we go down, nobody's never going to get us.
The worst person to be on a seesaw. But what happened there? Because that's a serious moment. You got to have a real discussion about growing up with your children.
Yes.
And someone thought, at least the way Allie remembered it, which is so funny because you say it's an old joke, but it made an impact on her till now 3 years later. She's still talking about it.
My daughter told me, she was like a kid. I think she was like 6, and she was like, Mama, come here. And I was like, what? She's like, I got hair down there. And 6 years old don't have no hair down there.
Right.
So I'm like, there's no way you only 6. And she was like, yes, I do. So I pull her underwear back, and it's full of Oreo cookie crumbs. And I was like, get out of here. You better not eat it either.
you better not eat it.
Because she would have ate it if she would have realized it was Oreo cookie crumbs.
So she thought she was going through very early puberty.
Yeah, she been eating clone meat probably. So I thought so too. That's why I check out.
She's been eating clone.
Well, that's the thing now is they say because of all the hormones, everything that's been thrown in the food, people are like all of a sudden people are
going to start mutating.
Yeah, 5-year-old girls got double D breast. Like out of the blue, she went through puberty, but it turns out, thank God, just an Oreo crumb scare.
Hey, Oreo crumb scare.
But it's funny, like that's something that obviously happened to you for real, and then you to talk about it on stage, and then here it is 3 years later, and we talk about you're coming in today, and I was like, oh my God,
I love her,
and she just goes in like it's just that's a weird to think that's one of your that's like a story from your life that has had such an impact on Allie all these years later.
It seems like most of you you're just talking about your own life, and your life is interesting enough to just all you have to do is speak from the heart, and it's hilarious.
I don't write jokes. I just if it happens at the house, if it can go on stage, I just put it on stage.
After Allie said that to me, I ate all of my pubic hair, hoping that they were Oreo cookie crumbs, but unfortunately, there was all pubic hair.
It was a long night of flossing.
Oh my God!
Did you choke? Did you choke?
Even talking about it makes me nauseous. Welcome back to the Bay. It's good to have you here. Of course, people, if you haven't seen Miss Pat, Allie will recommend it highly. But Punchline shows to go to. You fascinate me for a handful of reasons. I didn't realize this on Last Comic. You were just telling us when you sat down, but They chucked you on your birthday. That's the day. That's the day you got thrown off the show?
Yeah, that's the day I got eliminated.
You think they knew that and wanted to get you extra emotional and said, like, oh, if we throw her off and it's her birthday, there's a good chance that she cries? Because that means good ratings for them.
It probably, I don't know, but it's not easy to make me cry. But I was kind of hurt. I was like, just let me go. Just let me go. And it's like, no. And then when they make me go see the psych, I really got pissed off. I'm like, I've been shot a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to prison. I've never had to sit down and talk to somebody with a degree to tell them my problems. Get out of my face, okay? This is some stuff I talked to my girlfriend about.
Right, and that's funny because you've been in prison. It's like, I should probably talk to a counselor right about now. But no, there was nothing offered at that time. And then you go on a reality show.
And,
and it's
and they didn't show this on the show, but you're telling me you get eliminated. And I wonder if they do this with all those shows. They must. They probably do that at The Bachelor, too, and everything. They eliminate you. They know you're emotional, or they think you could be an emotional wreck because they don't realize you've lived through much worse than being thrown off a reality show. And they say, go talk to a therapist?
Yes, that's what we had to do.
And they forced you to?
They forced me to. And
how long? Was it a full hour long?
No, he just had to ask you a few questions to make sure you wasn't going to go out and kill yourself or whatever. Oh, my God. And I'm like, dude, I'm cool. Just let me go. I just want to go and take my bra off because it was extra tight. Because, I was on TV, so I bought a smaller size bra
to make the breasts look bigger.
Yeah, to make it look like they're in their 20s.
You're like, I just want to be comfortable
so
at this point.
It was killing me. I'm like, look, dude, I just want to get out of this spank and this bra so I can go and relax like any dude do when they take their underwear off. That's all I want to do.
And they finally let you go, but had they thought you were emotionally not stable, they would have made you sit there, you think, and like gone through a full. I didn't realize all this happens. I wonder if that happens Survivor. They throw you out.
I can imagine for Survivor they totally would
talk to therapists.
Yeah,
first of all, they should show that part of the show. That'd be much more interesting than a lot of the shows.
Also, that's the best therapist job ever.
But like you said, your life has been therapy. You were dealing drugs as a teenager,
yes,
right?
I had my first kid at 14.
Now, when you deal drugs? Did you have a thing? Like, did you have a gimmick? A lot of drug dealers now, they're doing gimmick things. They got the special baggies they'll use. They put chili powder in the meth.
Chili powder in the meth.
Well, that was from Breaking Bad. But
well, I'm black. I didn't do meth. I didn't sell meth.
What did you sell?
Crack. I sold drugs for black people. Okay.
Right. But you were the intermediary, right? Because you were a kid, or like you would be the handoff person because you're
No. It was my thing. I just started it up after my kid's father went to jail, and I was 15 with 2 kids and couldn't get a job. So I tried to get a job, but they kept saying, you need a work permit. So it's kind of hard for some people to understand a 15-year-old with 2 kids, and I'm hollering, this is my work permit. Meet them. Ashley and not kids.
So you figured out so you made the crack yourself.
Well, you buy it. Well, you buy it already cooked. Mm-hmm. And then I learned to cook it later on.
That's amazing.
And so I started dealing because I couldn't get a job, and 15 years old, dropped out in the 8th grade. I mean, everything was just out of control. So, plus I had 2 babies that I really loved, and I had to survive.
Right, of course. And that's like, all of us do. Like, that's why I'm doing, not I would say doing a radio. Actually, doing radio, I think, is a step below dealing crack, to be completely honest. Morning radio. But it's like you have that survival instinct. You must make it work some way or another, right?
Yes.
You got to feed. Now, you get shot as a result of
twice
of the crack, or unrelated?
Well, once for the crack, and then my kid's father shot me.
What?
Yeah.
He cray wins again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we do. Yeah, but so there were 2 separate, but you only got shot once each time.
Yes.
And where?
First time it was up under the arm and it came out through my areola. And you don't need 2 nipples. It's overrated.
Wait a minute.
Now, I can survive. You don't have enough, so it would have killed you. Them little cute blonde titties would have had you somewhere in the ground.
It went from the back of you
it went up under my arm.
Through the areola.
And it came out through the boob.
Is that not the greatest? I mean, aside from the fact you got shot.
That's like a bullseye.
That's amazing. I mean, the guy should be offered a job.
My goodness.
But that's painful. That doesn't feel good.
It doesn't. When you get shot, it do not hurt until the next day. I think it's adrenaline. Like the next day, it hurt when I had to go and change the bandages and stuff.
So right when it happened, you were just in shock.
I thought I had snagged it on the door jamb. And when I got to the hospital, that's when they told me it hit me up under my arm.
Like, that's why people say some things like paper cut. They'll go, man, that's more painful than getting shot.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people say that have never been shot before.
Do people say that?
People say that. They're like, man, that's the worst. You ever get like smack, you wouldn't know what it's like, but you get like a knee in the balls, and people go, I've talked to people that have been shot and they go, getting kicked in the junk is so much more painful than getting shot. Now, obviously, it depends on where you get shot, what kind of caliber, all those things make a difference.
Mine was a .45. It went up under my arm.
Now, and what had happened? Like, were you in the middle of?
I'll get into an argument with another dealer. And I was shooting too, but I just didn't know what I was. I didn't know what I was doing.
You just didn't have aim.
She can't incriminate herself. Don't incriminate yourself. Don't incriminate yourself.
No. This is 30 years ago. Other than my kid's father, that's the only person I shot and was able to shoot where I was trying to shoot him at, which was in the leg. But this guy, I don't think I knew what I was doing.
Miss Pat, you have lived a life, and things after that have got to seem so boring, though, right? Like you were doing all this stuff at 15, whatever, into your 20s. That they make full shows about this, like fascinating for most regular people, boring white people like myself. But now, like when you're on the road telling jokes, going to the hotel, and I saw on Last Comic. You would go to like churches and do little. You would speak for like groups of like sometimes real small audiences.
That wasn't me.
Oh, that wasn't you?
No, that was the white girl.
Oh, okay.
I don't speak at churches.
Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how non-racist I am. I don't even know the difference between black people and white people. That's how little I see skin.
That girl was about 20 years old.
Yeah, that's right. See, that's
she looked
a
like an all-American doll. Come on, man. I look like Ain't Your Mama.
See that? It's all the same to me. That's why we have people on the phone that want to ask. People do things and they're not sure whether or not it's racist or not. They do things and they go, I don't think it's racist. Like, but for instance, Patrick, you had a question to ask earlier. Now, and we can go ahead and actually talk about this because race is a very hot button topic, and we don't. A lot of radio shows like to shy away from it altogether. They're afraid to say anything; they're going to get complaints. We like to get into it and figure it out. Patrick, what is your question? Because I think that Miss Pat can answer this once and for all.
Okay, well. When I'm in a car on the freeway,
racist.
I have all my windows. I have all my windows rolled up.
It's racist because you got AC.
Okay, so you're driving. You have all of your windows up.
Right.
AC on.
Maybe. Either way, I'm blaring some NWA or something like that.
Oh no.
And I'm singing along, and sometimes I sing along a little too perfectly.
Okay.
So he's asking, is it okay that he's saying the N-word in the lyrics if he's alone in his car with the windows rolled up, or is that racist?
Well, let me ask you this. Did you purchase the NWA album, or however the app or whatever? Did you buy it or did you steal it?
I bought it from a record store.
Okay, you bought it. Mm-hmm. And you say the N-word along with yourself with the windows rolled up.
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes. And you want to know if that's racist?
Possibly, yes.
I think you regretted saying that the second you said it.
That's racist.
It's not racist. It's not racist.
But is it racist if his windows are down and everyone can hear him?
I just think people are going to take that the wrong way, so I keep it as I keep myself as secluded as possible when those outbursts happen.
Well, I don't think it's racist. You pay for the album and you doing it all along by yourself. That's like telling somebody they can't use 2 dildos when they bought them.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you bought those 2 dildos. Kill yourself.
That's a fine analogy right
Only
there.
use 2 dildos when you're in your car with the windows rolled up.
Now, to be fair, Miss Pat, he also thought the best acting in the NWA movie was from the Cops. He thought that. I thought.
Now that's right.
That's racist.
That's what I said. All right, hold on. Nate in Union City. This is interesting because Nate, what is your ethnicity? Nate?
Nate just said the N-word and ran off the road.
Hello, Nate. All right, moving on to David in Mountain View. David, welcome to Am I Racist? Miss Pat is here. She will answer once and for all.
Hello, how you doing?
Fine, what's up?
You sound racist.
Well, I am
kidding.
white German male, so...
I'm just kidding.
Oh, boy, white German male. 2 strikes against you. Go ahead. What's your question?
Is it racist that I think Asians don't know how to drive?
No, I think the whole America think that. We all think that.
Hey, hold on, Nate is Asian. I think we got him back. Nate, you are Asian?
Yeah, part.
Okay, and what is your question from Miss Pat?
Is it racist to make their accents?
So he's half Asian.
Jokes?
So he's half Asian, which I think doesn't...
Wait, is this the same Nate that just ran off the road?
I don't know.
No.
Sorry,
This is Asian Nate that ran off the road?
Sorry, half of me crashed into a mailbox.
Sorry.
Nate, so what is your question for Miss Pat?
Is it racist to make fun of the accents of my peoples?
Of my peoples?
Of your people?
Make fun of accents of his own
what is he?
peoples. He's
No,
half
that's
Asian.
not
Half Asian.
No. What's racist about
Okay,
that?
wait, here's something that this actually happened to me last night. So I was ordering pickup Thai food, and as soon as they answered the phone, I noticed that they had a very heavy accent. So when that happens, I automatically start yelling into the phone.
Yes, racist.
It is?
Of course it is.
If I'm going hello, I would like to order for pickup. And I don't know if I'm doing that because it seems loud over there, or if I'm like this, if I just assume this person has an accent and they're not going to be able to understand.
From getting messed up. I do the same thing.
Okay, but then I'm like, am I being racist just because they have an accent?
No, I call a Chinese restaurant and say, can I speak with someone who speaks English?
Right. Smart move.
It's always somebody there that's speaking
Right. It takes sometimes you got to hold for a while.
One.
They got one kid in college that speaks fluent English. I know what I'm talking about.
That's who you want to put the order in with, because God forbid the food shows up and you said you want steamed broccoli, you get steamed shrimp or something like that.
Right.
Now, usually it doesn't go that way.
Or something.
It never goes better.